Nautenda Mwari watitendera kuti tisangane masitata anaya nyama nemweya zviri pamwe chete. I would like to welcome you, ladies and gentlemen. Some housekeeping, please. Tokumbirawo kuti izvo vane mics titry kuvaisa pamute kusvikira patinenge takufangwa kuasenzesa so that we don't have a lot of feedback. Thank you very much. Before we start, could Mr. Mutema please play for us?
Okay, shall we pray?
Mr. Mutema, you are on mute.
Shall we pray? Our Father who art in heaven, we come before you this afternoon. We thank you for being with us. We thank you for the day. We pray for the day and the program before us. May the Holy Spirit guide us. Help us to unlearn and to learn as guided by the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Mutema. I hope we are all here, and those who join us later, munotibatra pamberi as we move. If there are any ladies on the platform, may the good Lord bless you as you listen. And this platform, vanhu vatanga takatarisira kunyanya are the ladies. Varume mune makangogara zvenyu muripo muchiteerera tichivatsanangurira what we are made up of and what we really expect from our women. Ladies, please listen to me carefully. I want to be clear on this thing. What we are discussing now is not a question of give and take. What we are discussing now is what is expected. The fact that someone else anamsoro, or the fact that someone else ana brain does not excuse you kuti ushaye brain. So by the end of the day, we are not here to ask what they have to offer so that we give them something in return. We are just putting on the floor or on the table what girls expect from, what boys expect from girls. And after that has been said and done, whether you want to stay in or you do not want to stay in. So I hope we will sail together and nobody is going to be offended. Mind you, like we said, we are going to have a question and answer session per 20 minutes. So anyone else tinogona kubvunza pa platform as we go, and my questions they shall be answered in my panelist end. Now I take this opportunity to introduce our panelists. Pekutanga, I'm going to introduce to you Mrs. Machando. Anove mukadzi wandakabvisira pfuma. Mrs. Machando, could you greet our audience?
Ladies, how are you all? I'm here with you so that we learn together, and I hope we'll keep things real. Yes, these gentlemen may be expecting things, but we expect them to be real. Let's expect to have fun and to learn.
And next on the panel, I've got Uncle Irvine. Uncle Irvine, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, young people. In as much as Mrs. Machando is going to be with you, for the guys, you are covered. I'm here for you. We are supporting you, and we need to tell them exactly what we need, what we want, and what we're going to do. May God bless us as we engage each other to learn more about what we ought to do, even and what is expected from us. And we hope we have a fruitful discussion. Over to you, my good elder.
Thank you very much, Uncle Irvine. Pastor Mbiriri, are you here?
Hello. It is quite a delight to be on the panel today. And I just want to say shout out to everybody, all the guys and all the ladies out there. You are in the right place, and this is where it's happening. Let's cross-pollinate ideas so that together we become more fruitful than we ever each could be on our own. Welcome, everybody, and I'm glad to be part of the discussion this afternoon.
Now, lastly, the big men. Mr. Mutema.
Thank you so much. Welcome, guys. We hope to learn and unlearn many things that will change our lives starting from today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This is our panel, and today we are going to move with the speed of lightning because we have got a lot and we need to discuss a lot. And after we have discussed, I hope you will be blessed and I hope things will be well for you. Now, without wasting too much of my time, Rumbi, we have ladies here. And by the end of the day, ladies always complain. Do you think their complaints are genuine?
From where I'm sitting right now, Elder, we are very genuine when we complain. From where we sit, gentlemen expect a lot and yet give very little. And we know they are ego-driven, but there has to be a place where this ego starts and where it stops. I actually think that girls these days are getting a raw deal. They're getting very little from the guys, and yet guys expect that ladies should treat them with the respect that our mothers used to give to our fathers. Now, if you look at our mothers and their fathers, our fathers used to be the real men who used to look after families. You rarely ever see that with the boys these days. So I honestly am ready to learn and just try and analyze how it is that boys are thinking these days.
Pastor Mbiriri, maybe the relationship between boys and girls is a relationship between the customer and the storekeeper. For the storekeeper to give you something, you have given something in return. So by the end of the day, do you think Kutizo, Wakumana, they are failing to deliver only because they are failing or they have an expectation, and if when that expectation is not met, they don't deliver, and when they don't deliver, they are judged on unjust scales?
Thank you so much for the question. I believe that we need to come to a point where we negotiate and understand each other. Mrs. Machando has spoken of, our fathers who used to do a lot and so on. I think the guys are doing their best in the circumstances or under the circumstances. There's a lot that they are doing, but probably we are operating in a different environment. And I believe that a lot of young people, young men that is, would really, that ladies appreciate the effort that is put in to, make things right. For example, in terms of, plans and so on. I remember you mentioned one time, Elder Machando, that when you get into a relationship, pressure. And sometimes ladies look at us and think that, oh, this guy's not serious and everything like that. But it could be that the operating environment in which we are could be very hostile, and the effort that we are putting may not be commensurate with the output that may be expected. But I believe that there's a lot to appreciate in what the young men are doing, in these given circumstances. And that has to be appreciated, and that appreciation can take us a great length.
Rumbi, you hear what the pastor is saying? Our fathers, or you are giving an example, Chaka. You remember when Chaka wanted to father girlfriend yake, all he did, aingopinda musango nepfumo, unobaya mukodzoka nayo. Saka the environment was different from the environment yatinayo. Munhu ari kutambudzika. Saka mukutambura kwaaita, people need to appreciate the little that we have. And if we are appreciated, then we are going to do big things.
I think the operative word here is little that is being done. I personally think that boys are doing the bare minimum these days. Let me explain what I'm talking about. You'll find if you go into any home that the girls are about the business of the home. It's a rare home where you will find the guys are actually doing anything that the boys should be doing. If there's any gardening, you might actually get the girls out there in the garden doing that work. They will do the housework, they will do the gardening. So there's very little that the boys are doing. I personally think it's too little for us to be appreciating that little. I think that the boys need to up their game. We are happy to respect them. We are happy to appreciate them, but they just need to up their game a bit. They've done too little to get anything in return. I don't know what you think, Elder.
Okay, fine. Pastor Mbiriri, maybe before we are overtaken by events, firstly, we need these ladies to know what we expect. Mm-hmm. And number one, can you give me one to notice whatever common from Vasikana, whether Vajra cannot have whether they have money or they do not have money, whether Vakarongeka cannot have kurongeka. This is what a guy expects from a lady. Tell one thing that you think is topmost on your list.
Thank you so much. Topmost on my list, a guy expects muskana akazvibata anozvikoshesa iye pachezvake anokoshesa muviri wake. Now apa ndoda kuti vasikana vanyatsa kuteerera, because ndo imwe area inoita confusion nekuda kweyatingati ma-conflicting signals. Chekutanga, kana tichitaura, for example, tichitaura nana baba nana mai vakawanana, kana tipatinoita premarital counseling sevafundisi kune vanhu vaakunochata, pama needs anonzi a man has, need number one ibonde, sex. That is need number one. Okay, but for now tiri kutaura nevakomana nevasikana. Muchaona kuti imimi need number one iyaya yatinotaura kunana baba inogona kuda kutanga kumanifesta even vanhu vachiri mukomana nemusikana, those ages kumukomana dzinenge dziripo. Now iwewe semusikana, kana mukomana wako akati anoda kuvata newe iwe ukatenda, that is one of the worst blunders I think that a lady can make. Why do ladies make this or consent, or why do they give in? I think in many, maybe the ladies are here, they can tell us, but I think that many do this because they want to protect or to preserve the relationship. Maybe if you don't give me, I'll go and find it elsewhere, and something like that. But right inside or at the back of his mind, every man wants muskana anoze koshesa muviri wake. The moment you give in, munoziva kuti motikari vamachando kana muchipinda kunotenga motikari muchingonzi makey aya, the moment you drive out kubva pawaitenga 50 meters inogona kunge yatoluza a quarter of its value. Kungotendera kwaita mavhiri katatu ichibuda payatengwa drops the value. Ndo zvinoitika kumusikana anozvipa muviri wake kumukomana asati abvisirwa pfuma, value yako inodzika. Asi kana ukazvichengetedza kusvikira wawanika, that value, same value, appreciates and it goes up. Saka, in short, this is one of the number one needs. Kunyange vakomana vanotoraradza and so on, vanototarisira kuwana musikana akazvichengetedza, anozvikoshesa. This is some, and men who usually chase after such a one. But kana iri yekungoti buda ndipinde uchimbuzi chepamusika guma waguma muzhanje wepanzira daso wataswa bhiza repakamba, most men are not interested in that. They may want the sex, but the relationship itself, its value iri pakuzvichengetedza kwako mwanasikana.
I hope you hear that, Rumi. The pastor here is saying men are not prepared to buy accident damaged vehicles, no matter who damaged them. So by the end of the day, should men ask for it and women provide? Basically, when we want to buy, we are not going for accident damage.
This is not making sense to me, Elder. It's not making sense at all. So why is it, Pastor, that vanororwa are those that we know are now accident damaged or already driven around? Ndo vanokurumidza kupinda mudzimba. Muri kuti chii about that? It seems as if zvinotobhadhara zvekupai zvinokurumidza.
Well, it may seem so, but in actual fact, sometimes just getting in or just getting married may not be the end of the story. As pastors, for example, we interact with a lot of people, and you find that for people that like engage in premarital sex or in sex before marriage, there's usually another chapter that they open once they get married. Those escapades do not stop. Usually they continue even after people have gotten married to each other. And so it begins a new chapter of sorrows. And people begin to be in the book of Lamentations. You know, it begins, it's something else that really affects people who are already married. But I just want us to, I'll make references to the Bible. I'm not like trying to say, some people may not be familiar with the biblical text, but I want to refer to the case of Amnon. You know, the Bible says that Amnon was son to King David. He so much wanted to have sex with this lady, Tamar. And the Bible actually says that he went to the extent of losing weight because he was always thinking of Tamar every time. But when he finally had the moment, sadly, he forced himself upon her. And the Bible says after that act, he hated her with a hatred that was greater than the love with which he had loved her. You know, immediately after, and called his security aides and said, get this woman out of my face. So this is something that is so important for ladies to understand. Men are chasers. They are hunters. The moment they've caught their prey, the thrill and the fun almost dissipates immediately. Some people, like my Machando said, will still continue and go on to get married to this person they've been indulging with. But sometimes people do that for different reasons because, you know, so many other people already knew. They knew an item for so long. It's so embarrassing if we break up and whatever and so on. And they go ahead and get married, but not for the right reasons. And usually that begins a new chapter of new complications that take place. Get this. If a guy and a lady preserve themselves and they reserve this until they are married, it really brings the value of, if this were a property, it brings the value way, way, way up. And so it is important for men, it is important that a lady should respect their body and be expensive. Girl, be expensive.
And I'm getting feedback here, Mr. Mutema. And you know what is happening? Some are saying it's fair, it's double standards. Why is it that people ask for it, and by the end of the day, then they don't buy that which is damaged? By the end of the day, please bear with me and understand me. Whether it's foolishness or it's not foolishness, this is what is expected. Unfortunately, you get beaten to the ball. When you have been beaten to the ball, you are relegated from the system. And when you get relegated from the system, the people who have damaged you are the people who are going ahead and hunting for other beasts. So by the end of the day, whether you like it or you do not like it, the fact that you have been giving it does not add value. The fact that you have been sleeping around does not add value. When people want to marry, they only talk about you, but they don't engage you. This is what is happening. Maybe I can ask Elder Mutema, what is happening here? Is it a question of value systems? What is it all about? That a person calls in someone, spoils that particular person, and then it demands that which is not on offer.
So maybe before we go to Elder Mutema, I have a question. Pastor, how about if I have slept around before, I have seen the light, and I have decided I'm not going to do this anymore. And then my next boyfriend says, I want to sleep with you, but I say, I'm not a virgin, but I'm not going to sleep with you. How are those dynamics to be dealt with?
And Mrs. Machando, before the pastor takes that one,
yes.
Let's go to Munya first. Why I'm saying so is because whether you regret or you don't, remember the story of Esau. After he sold his birthright and he got the beans, he was supposed to be content with the beans.
Yes.
So by the end of the day, those who sell their birthright, they must never think that they are going to get into this institution by the back door. All we are saying is you are giving it to us, but marriage is not paid back time.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that, Elder Machando. It's unfortunately that's the reality. We do it. It might be wrong, it might not be right, but that's the reality. That's there. And this program is also there to let the ladies know the reality that is on the ground. The fact that we have chewed the bubble gum after the sweetness is gone, we just have to do the spitting. We will not remain with the bubble gum when the sweetness is gone. So whether it's right, that's something else, but that is what is there. That's the reality that's there. And ladies will do well to learn that, to then start crying and shouting that this is not right, why are they doing it? That's something else. But the reality is when we get the sweetness, when guys get the sweetness, the sinful nature, if I might say that, it's natural. It's gone. The zeal is gone. The fire is gone. It's just gone. The sweetness is no longer there. So that's something that the ladies need to know. That's what's there. That's who we are. That's what's happening, despite the fact that it might not be right. So thank you so much, Elder Machando, for highlighting that.
I hope Rumbi heard what Elder Mutema said. He said that I cannot keep the gum in my mouth because it used to be sweet. And all I'm saying is when something ceases to be sweet, I spit it out. And the fact that we are bringing across is what we expect. And we are not forcing ladies. They are not being raped. And we are telling them, since you are not being forced, why are you giving it to us when we are telling you as soon as you give it to us, we spit you out?
It's a tight life.
Yeah. So even if I promise, that is not a guarantee that I'm going to do it. So even if I promise that after chewing you, I'll keep you, the fact that I have taken the sweetness, even if I promise, it's not a guarantee that I will keep the gum when the sweetness is gone. So every lady just needs to know I should keep my sweetness until the right chewer comes.
Yeah, so I get that chewing gum thing, but I'm just wondering, somebody has chewed this gum, the sweetness is gone, I'm no longer the virgin that I was. I don't want to sleep with you before marriage. Why do men insist and think because I'm not a virgin, I should sleep with them? I don't want, I've seen the light now, the sweetness is gone, right? But I want to do the right thing from now on. Why do men still insist on that? And if I should have somebody who does eventually marry me, how is the sweetness to come back in my marriage? Is it going to come back or is it gone forever? I don't know who's going to take that. Uncle Ivan, do you want to jump into the fray? Why do men insist that if I'm no longer a virgin, I should still sleep with them when I don't want to sleep with them and want to wait for marriage now? Uncle Ivan, you're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, I think you can hear me audibly. I think the sweetness from my gum was taken away by this virtual thing. Allow me, before I go straight into answering the question, let me give a shout out to those who are coming in from Algeria, to those who are coming from Zambia, Kenya, Ghana. I see you are with us here, and welcome. Whether you are boys or you're girls, you are most welcome to this exciting talk show. Well, the question is why then men are still insisting on getting the sweetness even before we engage into a lifelong commitment. I think the value system that Elder Machando had spoken about before is one other thing. Let me also mention this as I continue ahead. You know, sometimes you also want to also see how much the person values themselves. I'll give you an example what you have said. If I were to come to, let me call this girl Sweetness. Her name is called Sweetness. And then she says to me, you know what? I've actually lost my virginity. But because I've learned from my mistakes, and I would want to restore that sweetness from me. To me, that's a plus. I would actually call it a white flag to show that this person values herself, even though she once made a mistake. But now she's in a position where she has put herself as someone who is valuable. She is like, you know, it's like a gem. A gem, if it was once caught and it got lost, and it says, I will not make myself available for anything that is beyond what I've now valued myself. Yes, I might have made a mistake, but now I am who I want to be and what God has envisioned me to become. So for me, I'll then look at it and say, hey, this girl values herself. Yes, she has made a mistake. So probably it's also another testing moment to see how much do you value yourself, in as much as I would also want to test the sweetness out of the gum that has already been chewed. So for you girls, we want you to know that even if you've made the mistake, continue to value yourself and put yourself in a space where everyone would say, I would need to dig deeper for me to be able to access this gem that has been presented to me. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you are all here. Mind you, we are not discussing what you want to hear. We are discussing exactly what is on the table. We are not dishing what you believe is right. We are dishing what is in the pot. And what I want to tell you is, whatever it is we are saying, whether it's palatable or it's not palatable, is exactly what is expected. So by the end of the day, you need to open your eyes. You need to be careful. If you have been playing this game, believing you are going to get favors out of it, the gentlemen are telling you, we are not going to get any favors. We are going to really get you to the dustbin. Why? Because as soon as we get that, we already have the trophy. What else? I don't buy that which I have consumed. I only follow and I only run after that which I haven't consumed. And this one is said and done. Whether we agree, whether we do not agree, all we are doing is telling you what is on the table. And this is what has been said. It's unfortunate. It's unfair. But nothing is fair in this world. It's a world full of unfairness. And by the end of the day, all we have done is we have warned you that us being unfair, do not be fair to us by giving us that which we will use to value you. So by the end of the day, it's all up to you to say this or to say that. But let me jump.
Could I say a word to my sisters on this?
Yes.
Girls, when a guy asks for sex, it's a trap. You have heard them here. It's a trap. Don't give them. I think I shall end there. You can carry on, Elder.
Elder, before you proceed, also just a thought there, that, and I think what Machando said is really, she has really captured the essence of it all. It is a trap. Unfortunately, many ladies do fall into that trap for whatever reasons, because they say, oh, I don't want to lose this guy and so on. But one of the fastest ways to lose your guy is to sleep with them. That is one of the fastest ways. They may still hang around you and so on, but in their hearts, they are already somewhere else. Ladies, understand this. Do not make a mistake. Men are hunters. They are chasers. The moment they catch the animal, there's no more fun there.
No more fun there.
So preserve, there's that personal space which should not be invaded by somebody who's not your husband. So protect that space. And it is that space, you know, that suspense. You know, even in a movie, if a movie doesn't have suspense, I mean, that's the end of it. There has to be tension. You have to know, so what's going to happen next? Even in a novel, you have to know, so what's going to happen next? Could it be this? Could it be this? And so on. But if you already know the end of this movie, and so on, I mean, even when you're watching soccer, because you don't know which team is going to win, that is where the thrill is. That's where the thrill is. That's why even some people, when they are told by somebody, if they are watching a delayed match, they won't even allow anyone to tell them the results. Because that once they know the result, it spoils everything. You know, so we're just saying, ladies, men are chasers. We are chasers. Make no mistake about this. And for those, Maybe you have done it in the past. Pastor Irvine spoke to that. You have done it in the past. Now you're in a new relationship, okay? Let's suppose a new relationship. It has new dynamics. That space, that personal space is still, it's new to this other person. So you need to protect and value yourself. Do not say, don't think to yourself that, oh, since I once gave in, I'm now useless. I have no value at all. No, you still have that value. In this new relationship, just make sure you do not repeat the same mistake. The only challenge you may face, ladies, listen, the only challenge you may face, if whether you open up or somehow your spouse gets to know that you were not a virgin at the time you got married, they may have at the back of their minds, and this happens with most men, that, but I would want to experience and to taste a virgin, since mine was not a virgin. That is something that may be there, and so on. But that's something that you may need to work on and communicate about, but we are telling you clearly the way it is. I think I can't say it further than that.
And mind you, I want to be clear and I want to be honest with you. On this very platform, we are not here to encourage guys to sleep around. Neither are we here to encourage them to sleep with those, to marry those who sleep around. Neither are we here to represent women who decide on their own to give out and then they say, marry us because we gave it to you. Mind you, the products that we are talking about are not cooperative products. Everyone else is keeping his or her own products. And I find it, you see, I find it disturbing when women cry to say, no, tell guys not to sleep with men. You people out there, don't you realize you are the custodians of this property? And you are being told that as soon as there's no more, there's nothing else to give, you are going to be thrown out. So keep what you have and maintain your value. Okay, Uncle Irvine, second one, what do you think is the next thing that men or boys want from women?
Well, let me tell, can I begin with a vignette? This is what my grandmother told me. I laughed about it, but I thought it was a very good lesson, and I would share it and probably give a pointer to the girls. My granny said, there's a portion that I'll say in my local language, but I'll translate it so that you understand it well. My granny was telling me that, you know, mzukuru wangu, meaning my grandson, my sekuru is, our totem is a zebra. We call it Samaita Manjenjenje Gandarawaskana Anoanekanoatang. I think you are the same, Mkoma Marshall. Samaita. So my sekuru was a Samaita. I just totem for a zebra. So when he goes back then, you'd go to hunt. And when he goes to hunt, you know, the bedroom where he would stay, even if my grandfather was not around and he has gone hunting, even if he brings spoils from the hunting or not, every time my gran would pass through the bedroom, she would go like, Pamsore Samaita, and my grandfather was not even there. That's how much respect my grandmother had for my grandfather, that even when he is not around, she would still conform to the culture and the requirements of culture. Even when he comes back and he has not caught anything, I'm not talking of a kudu, not even a mice, you know, a rodent, I don't know what you call it in your local language. My grandmother would do, you know, the totem pride and say, Maita Samaita, Manjenje, Gandarawaskana, Anoanikanatanga. And she would do it to the best of her ability. And you know what my grandfather says? He says, whenever I would receive this kind of appraisal and a confirmation of who I am, the best of myself is what I would exude to my wife. So men would want ladies or girls who would respect them, who would support them and appreciate the efforts that bring to them. And when you are appreciated, I'm telling you, what exudes out of you from the level of appreciation, you would also know that ukatenda $1 you receive something worth more than $100 from what your men can do. So men want to be respected. They want to be appreciated for the efforts that they do. Because when you do that, I mean, go into the Bible. Pastor Mbiriri, you remember, I think in Shona they would say, Sarah said to Abraham, Shewe, my Lord. I mean, it's a word that is pregnant of meaning. You know, when a woman gives you that respect, that even if you don't wear a crown and she still calls you a Lord, I mean, you are able to then see how you can disperse the resources that your lordship has towards the one that you yearn for and the one that you love. So I believe respect and appreciation for the work that we do will render so much in what we can give to those who are in the space of our love, and that we can give them the very best. Thank you, my elder. So respect and appreciation and support for the work that we do.
Thank you very much. Before we comment on what Uncle Ivan said, I like what Josephat is saying here. Josephat is saying what is surprising him is ladies want the gentlemen to keep their virginity for them. And it's also surprising him. Basically, what he means is we have got an obligation to keep what we have, and the guys have an obligation to keep what they have. What is here is not like we say, you have lost it, I've lost it, so we are the same. Basically, we are saying what is right. This is the expectation, and this is what is wanted. Mind you, let me remind you, today's topic is what guys expect. I repeat, what guys expect. Now let's go back to what Uncle Ivan has been saying. He has been talking about appreciation. Listen carefully, Rumbi. This is now talking to you. Respect. You know what? You were saying the guys nowadays have nothing to offer.
Nothing.
So what should we appreciate when they have nothing to offer?
What is that?
But know this thing, Rumbi.
Yes.
What Uncle Ivan is saying is, if you want big things, don't date people with small things and then say, I'm not going to appreciate you. Remember, a fool wants to be appreciated, a wise man wants to be appreciated. He who has $1 million wants to be appreciated, he who has $1 wants to be appreciated. If you cannot appreciate $1, why date someone who has $1?
So my problem is, you will have to bear with me here. The majority of the guys who come after girls these days are layabouts. They spend their days on bridges. They wear trousers that start midway down their legs. They are disrespectful. They don't live in the culture that's theirs. Their expectations from me bear no resemblance to the expectations from themselves. And I'm supposed to respect that. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that what you think, Uncle Ivan? That any fool that comes up, I respect. Uncle Ivan, you're on mute.
I think it's okay. Can you hear me audibly? Okay, fine. You know, Muchishona, I'll explain this. Muchishona mune a statement, you know, I mean, you made the choice and you decided to date someone who is in that space. So respect them in the space where they are. I think my good elder mentioned it, or to say, kana uri wakatoita choice yacho. You must live with the consequences of the choice that you have made. Kana uchitoziva kuti nini ndiri benzi, unotofara muhubenzi wangu. You must be excited in my foolishness because you actually made the decision. And I like what the elder has put it so right. It is what men want, whether I'm a fool, whether I'm not a fool, whether I'm rich or poor. I still expect this from you in my own sphere of what defines who I am. So kana wakandona ndiri pa bridge ndichitambisa jenjere, if I'm doing things that are immature and you still like me in my immaturity, I still expect you to respect me, to support the very things that I do, because come on, this is your choice. I mean, you could have chosen Pastor Mbiriri, who was very good with doing so many things, who is an engineer, but you are here with me. Don't cry over spilled milk. Appreciate the milk that is already in your hand, because this is the choice that you have made. And I would still expect it, because remember, the topic today is saying, as a man in my own, ndakapfeka chikabudura chinosvika 3 3/4 way, but the decision is you have chosen me in that state. What has changed that you've decided to respect someone else who's not me when I am the man who is in the sphere of your love and attracted you to be who I am? So let's not move away from the fact that this is what I still want, even though I might not be in the space of someone who could have become your crush or the imaginary man that is there. So I still expect. Remember, I'm not talking about demand. This is not I'm not demanding it, but I'm saying in the space where I am, at least let's meet and you find me where I am.
Listen carefully, Robbie.
Yeah.
And we are just telling you what we want. And if you think you cannot sail along with such, why are you entertaining slaves in your ship? Why are you accommodating me when you know I'm not worthy? Why are you dating me when you know you can't respect me? But mind you, what the guys are saying, they are saying when we date you, we are not getting into a school to be told how to be this or how to be that. What you see is what you are buying. If you think it is not worthy, don't buy. Don't force me into being what I am not. Yes,
yeah.
Munya?
Yeah. So I wanted to say, when I'm asking you out, Rumbi, when I'm saying I'm interested in you, when I say I love you, indirectly I'm saying, will you respect me? So if you say you love me too and you don't respect, and you start saying those funny statements, respect is end. When I actually said I love you, indirectly I was saying, will you respect me? So there is nothing like respect is end. Let him first do A, B, C for him to earn my respect. No. When I ask a lady out, indirectly I'm saying, will you respect me? So a positive response on my asking out is a positive response on me gaining that respect. Yes.
I hope the likes of Rumbi are getting you loud and clear. When we say we love
I don't have to work hard. I don't have to earn a master's. I don't have to buy a Honda Fit. I don't have to buy you a present for your birthday for you then to start respecting me. The fact that I said I love you, I'm indirectly requesting that because this is what I expect from you. So it is your duty to find out. It is your duty to do your homework before you respond to my proposal. Before you say yes, it is your duty to do the homework to say, is he worth my respect? Not to start saying, first do this so that you can, no. The fact that you said yes to my proposal, it means I expect respect from you.
I get that. And I think this is where the world is feeding us rubbish as girls, because we are taught, we are shown, we are surrounded by media that says, if the guy is handsome, if the guy is a sweet talker, if the guy is this, nobody tells us about having to respect every, jack that comes up, with a loser who comes up and needs to be respected. So a lot of us will get into marriage and actually discover that there is nothing to respect, because nobody told us that when you were asking us out, you were actually saying, will you respect me? Because if you put it that way, it gets me thinking. It actually makes me look deep inside, and I think,
Elder, your mic is muted.
Okay, this is what we are saying, Ru. Even if you are in the wrong bus, we expect you to enjoy the ride. We don't want complaining customers. If you think the ride is not worthy, please excuse yourself and go out. We are tired of having lectures. We don't want to be lectures into being this or into being that by ladies who said they want us as we are. They must be principled on this thing. They know this is what we want. We want to enjoy sitting on the bridge. And when we have sat on the bridge, they should appreciate it as we are. The only thing that you can do to me is to tell me, Can you blow away the dust on your back? Not to tell me what have you been doing. You know what I've been doing. This is my business sitting on the bridge. Ladies out there, listen carefully. It's not to frustrate anyone. It's not to damage anyone's ego. We are just bringing about what men expect from you. And by the end of the day, we expect you to be winners. We will expect the guys to be winners too. If you know you cannot respect, if you know it is not worthy, if you know it is not your style, do not play it. Otherwise, you have heard with your own ears what is expected of you. Maybe, let me move on.
Maybe before you move on, Elder, just to weigh in there, it's so important to know that I want to speak to one of the elements that Uncle Irvine spoke about, which is like appreciation. So circumstances differ in people's lives, as we all know, and as we all experience life. There are ladies I've known to have, you know, they look at a guy the way they are today, and they think that this guy is going to die in the same situation and condition. Somehow there's need for that insight, you know, to be able to know that, I mean, this guy is at point X today, but someday, because this person is really moving in a particular trajectory at a particular velocity, they're really going places. But sometimes some ladies will not appreciate a guy with a vision because they want one with a television, you know? Mm. So they miss out when finally they see that guy whom they declined, they see them now owning the television station. And now they are watching that guy in the television of the guy with the television, but no vision. So it's important also to have that. People will not die exactly where they are today. They may be, you know, progressing. Granted, some are regressing, but there's need to have that, you know, some insight into what can be. There's potential, you know. There's potential. People can improve and become something else. So we need to improve, appreciate even those little steps and everything like that. That people are making as they upgrade themselves, as they improve themselves. And so I thought that is something that we should not miss as we talk about this.
Thank you very much. Elder Mutema, values, value systems, beliefs, be it spiritual and what have you. I have seen the other problem that we have is unequal yoking, where one believes in A, the other believes in B. I'm not even talking of church. I'm talking of issues on the periphery. So by the end of the day, one needs to be respected, but we share different belief styles. What do you say, Elder Mutema?
Yeah, so generally as guys, we expect to marry someone who has the same value system with us, someone who has the same beliefs with me, someone who is at the same level, same wavelength with me. It might be fine. Let me come to where you started from. It might be Jigure Chaish. If I believe in those things myself, when I propose to Rumbi, when I ask out Rumbi, it means I have done my homework. I have seen her potential in believing in the Jigures. So when I come to Rumbi, indirectly I'm saying, Rumbi, I've seen you from a distance. You from the homework that I have done, and the fact that I believe in the Jigures, I have seen the potential that you will help me to package my short zangu, you will help me to package my chari zangu. You are going to become a good partner for me in the Jigure system. So we expect someone who has the same value system with me, I have seen so many ladies who they see me as a chigure. I propose to them. Then for some reason, they think they are going to live with me, enjoying my Honda Fit, enjoying everything else, but they will not partake in my chigure system. But as guys, we expect that when we get married, when I'm with you, we are at par in terms of our value systems. So this is why you find when we go on the biblical side, the Bible encourages us not to be unequally yoked. Why? Because naturally men, they want partners who believe the same things that they believe. Like I said, unfortunately, many ladies, they then think that they are going to change the belief systems that someone has. To us men, that's a very big no. When I see someone, like I mentioned before, as I come to her, I've already done my homework, that this person, I am going to change her if she's not already in the same line of my belief system. So fine, you can talk of the values that Pastor talked about. You can talk of appreciating and so forth. But at the core of our relationship, I do have a high expectation that this lady that I'm courting, this lady that I'll eventually get married to, is in the same line of beliefs that I have. This is the reason why sometimes you then find us men just ditching out ladies or dropping them, sometimes for no reason. But when he finally wanted to get married, he then married X, or he then married Y, or he then married Ningi. It's because apart from everything else, the materials and so forth, I'm a human being, and every human being is religious. And one writer says Africans are religious, are notoriously religious. So it might be worshiping God, it might be worshiping Jigure, it might be worshiping Zimu, but especially Africans, that's who we are. We believe in a higher power. So whatever higher power I believe in, many ladies, they think that they can be with me and not believing in the same belief system. But when I when I reach out to a lady, one of the fundamental things I'm expecting is one day, sooner or later, especially before we get married, she will be in the same line of my belief system. So there are so many ladies that I have heard who strongly believe, but no, I'm a Catholic. My guy is a Methodist. So we are going to enjoy life. Here achenda ku Catholic, we are achenda ku Methodist kwake. As guys, that's a very big no, because I believe as a man, I'm the man, by the way, I believe that what I believe in, eventually, this is what my family has to believe in. If I am so religious about soccer, I believe one way or the other way, my family has to be also religious about it. I believe as a man, when I propose to someone, at the back of my mind, I've already seen the potential that this one is she's going to help me to beat the drums. She's going to help me to wake up at night, do our occultism and so forth. So as men, in a nutshell, we expect our ladies to be in our same belief system. And like I said, I want to highlight this. When I come to a lady, I'm representing the men. When us men come propose to any ladies, we have already done our homework to say this one is a serious potential of being my partner in what I believe in.
Okay. Elder Mutema, that is very interesting, because I have seen a lot of boys who are possibly Adventist, who go after people who are Methodist. So you're telling me the expectation, or let me be a bit more drastic. Let's have somebody who does rigure, like you said, and they come after a girl who's a Christian. In the head of that boy, he's thinking, I am going to take this Christian girl and make her my partner and make her beat my drums for my rigure. Is that what you are saying? He is not thinking in terms of, I want to go and join the church that she's going to. He's thinking in terms of, she is going to partner me in what I'm doing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. 101% positive. So naturally, as men, we are the headship. I'm not talking of the Bible here. Naturally, a man, in our veins, in our arteries and veins, there is headship in us as men. Okay, so there is no man, whether he's an atheist, whether he's a Muslim, there is no man who, in his right mindset, looks at a girl and say, I want her to lead me in this set of beliefs. I want her to lead me in doing A, B, C. Every man naturally wants to lead. So if I'm a Chigure as a man, and if I see you, Rumbi, as a Christian, I might appreciate I might appreciate your character. I might appreciate how you are doing your Christendom. I might appreciate how you are leading in your praise and worship on Sunday worship. I might appreciate how you are doing your Methodist things and so forth. But as I'm seeing those positive things, I'm saying, whatever she's doing as an Anglican or as a Methodist, if I take her, she's going to do the same things in my Chigures. She's going to do the same praise and worship in our Chigures.
Whoa.
And in fact, because we are lacking tenor. And as she sings, and she sings tenor.
Yes.
Tenor, ndiri kuchechi because akusiriko. Ndofunga tenor ndiri kuzigura kana ari pakona yangoma ikarohwa ati akati nekatena kaka zvigure zvafamba. The problem that we are having is you think kuti inini ndiri kukuroora kuti ndinokujoina kuchechi ndisiya zvigure.
That's the problem we are having. Because a lot of girls will say, he says he's coming to our church. And the deception with you guys is that some of you will even come to the churches during courtship. Some of you will even get baptized. And then a month or two after marriage, you are gone back to your Jigures. I think that's deceptive behavior.
So when you see us coming to churches, guys, if I'm interested in a lady who is an SDA, or if I'm interested in a lady who is a Methodist, I go there to scout. You know, when we were in high school, scouters would come from Europe. They come to scout for athletes here in Zimbabwe. It doesn't mean that they now want to become Zimbabweans. They are coming here to see Zimbabweans who they can scout. So when I come to a church, if you're an SDA, I'm coming to scout. When I'm done with my scouting, I go back with you to Europe. Then we go and run things.
But Elder, that's downright deception.
No, basically, remember today we are talking of what guys expect. And unfortunately, the reason why many people are crying, Fawa Urumbi, it is because they think scouters have repented. I have come to do due diligence to see whether the tenor that you are singing is consistent. I didn't come because I'm an Adventist. When I wanted to come to church, I come for Christ, not for you. As long as I am coming for you, I'm on a date. You may have refused to go out somewhere else with me, but the only date that you can have is at church. So if I get into a pool to be baptized, I'm not saying I'm a Christian. I am just serving what you want on your table. But after scouting, we go back home.
Because us guys, we learn from nature. If a chameleon wants to attack an ant or what, it changes its color to the color of the ant. So we also have to change our colors. So if I want someone in the Salvation Army, I have to come to church on a Sunday and do what Salvation Army does, you know. So even if I'm a Chigure, all I want is a lady. I'll highlight this to my Machando. All we want is one day, if I'm impressed with you, all I want is one day for you to be in the same line with my beliefs, because I'm thinking of my children. I also want them to be in that system. So I want someone who will be able to train my children. I want someone who will be able to be there for my children, to keep them in the same line of my value system. So it might be about Mbuyane, if I've been raised in the Mbuyane systems, Kagube systems, in that belief system, I also someone who will help me when I'm not there, to be able to take care of my family in that belief system. This is what we expect. And all we see is potential to say, oh, this one has potential to do. Unfortunately, you ladies, you think when you come, you can turn us from my Chigure into your system, or from your Adventism, or from your Catholic system. No. We are not girls, we are men here.
Okay. It gets worse.
Can I come in a bit?
Not only are you expecting us to participate with you in your Jigure, you want us to teach our children to be like you.
Because when I propose to you, I'm saying, come, let's be together. We want to expand. I want to expand my sphere of influence. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. So I'm looking for a partner. This is a partnership. I'm looking for a business partner who can help me to expand my belief system through my offsprings.
Can I come in a bit? Just a quick one.
Yes,
you know, it's also very interesting. Rumbi, can I just now go confirm? You're called Rumbi Machando. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, were you born Rumbi Machando?
Uncle Ivan, let's not get funny.
Were you born Rumbi Machando?
I just want to
answer the question.
Were you born Rumbi Machando, or so you take pride in the Machando clan name? Why? I think it's the issue of headship that Munya was talking about. You know, because the fact that you also carry that name, and the kids that will also come as your offspring, they will not take your maiden name. They will still continue with the Machando name. So Machando, you are helping him to expand his clan. So let me also take it a little bit. You know, even men also follow sports religiously, because here we're talking of a value system. So when you come to the Guatiringa family, or let me say to the Machando clan, if one Machando is a strong, religiously Man United supporter, the Red Devils, and no matter how much you hate the other devil, or the other one, the normal devil, but when you come into our home, we are now expecting you to adorn that Man U jersey, and then number 9. Why? Because we have partnered together, like what he has mentioned, simply because you have also carried the name. So as it way, we are helping each other to grow the clan, and you being a very pivotal part of what it is. Thank you. I'll stop.
So there is a lady. There's a lady who said on the chat, is it not because someone might just be interested in the Christian values of a lady? So the person might be a Chigure, but he's just interested in the values of that lady. So allow me to say, ladies, at the back of our mind, fine, we might be attracted by those values that we see. I might be in the value system of the spirit mediums, you know, that's my belief system. Then I see someone who has a different line of beliefs, be it a Christian. I might be attracted to that person. The fact that I come to you, ladies, I want you to listen. The fact that I come to you, I am not only attracted to those Christian values, though they are nice. Because I am a man, I have to lead. At the back of my mind, I'm saying, one day when I have her, I will use these good values that she has to get in my line of value system.
Right.
Because I'm seeing there's a lady who said, no, they might just be attracted to the Christian values. Whilst the attraction is there, it will not end there. So the attraction, yes, is there. This is the beginning. I'm just attracted, but the end to it, I'm going to expect you to be in my line of value systems.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Let me, before I go to Pastor Mbiriri here, let me read what is on the screen here. One is suggesting that people make a proper due diligence, but I want to refer to this one. This one is saying, if then you are a Chigure, why would you go and date a Roman Catholic and want to make that person a Chigure? Why don't you just go to Zigure and date a Chigure? Maybe I can answer to this one. When echigure dates you when you are a Roman Catholic, anenge atokuona sechigure. So by the end of the day, as long as you are not echigure, there is no way you can go out with echigure. You mustn't allow yourself, I'm talking to the ladies here, you mustn't allow yourself kuzoenda palevel yezvigure uchiti ndoda kuvachinja. So by the end of the day, chiramba chigure chacho. Asi kana watochida uri chigure, anenge aita due diligence yake zvakanaka, anyatsoona kuti izvo ndasangana nechigure changu uye chichandibatsira panapa. There is another one who is saying there is a lot of pretense here, so people are not leading an honest life. We have said that before. The Bible clearly states many were called, but a few were chosen. The greatest number of people that you see lead deceitful lives. So we need to be careful. We need to open up our eyes and see. Men are saying it as it is. Maybe Pastor Mbiriri, it looks like intelligence is required here. What do you think?
Yes, thank you so much. This is my point of departure on that will be from the Bible, Proverbs 11, verse 22. This is a proverb, you know, and it says, as a jewel of gold in a swine's nose, so is a beautiful woman who lacks discretion. So the Bible is saying, imagine a ring of gold, a golden ring. It's so valuable, it's so precious. But then it's placed as a nose ring for a pig. You know, so is a woman who is so beautiful, but doesn't have wisdom, is not intelligent, is not smart upstairs. So this is the situation. Let me make it clear. Ladies, beauty is such an important thing for us as men. In fact, in many instances, it is before we even know who you are, your name, whatever, it is the looks that usually strike first. And say, wow, okay, I think I need to know what a name is, and so on and so on. It is those looks. Men are creatures of vision. You know, they visualize. And then usually that's where the first interest comes in. So beauty is so important. But then the Bible is saying the challenge comes when this beauty is there, but when you look, closely, there's no discretion, there's no wisdom, there's no intelligence. So although beauty is important, but every man would want to bring into their lives a lady who will add value to that life. So getting your hair done is okay, it's good, and it's a beautiful thing. Dressing nicely and everything like that, all those are wonderful things. They are very important. Never underestimate their importance. They are so important. But if that is all there is, then girl, you are in trouble. Because this guy is going to take a deeper look, okay? And then they want to see beyond that beauty, beyond the appearance, beyond the good looks, what else is there? So they want now someone maybe with a skill set values or something, maybe let's say a profession or something that this person has added value to them, which then capacitates them to add value into this person's life. And so that is so important. I'll use another image. When Jesus once, the Bible talks about Jesus one time coming from a city called Bethany, and he was going to Jerusalem, and he saw a sycamore tree by the roadside. And the Bible says it was so attractive. You know, the way the leaves appeared, he was so hungry. He just turned from the road, went over to the tree, but what a disappointment it was when he got closer to find that there were no fruits. And you know what? He didn't just leave that tree and walk away. He cursed it and it dried immediately. You know, he was so, because it promised one thing. And when he got closer, there was nothing there. And so that is the kind of situation that a lady who focuses only on manicure and pedicure and putting all these kind of colors and dyes in her hair and everything like that. Okay, that's fine. We've seen that. Beautiful leaves. Do we have any fruit? Okay, do we have any fruit? So there are two things. Number one is a guy gets to know you better and everything like that. Maybe you're already married. The initial interest can wear off. It can be by the vicissitudes of life, the ups and downs and the pressures of life. That initial attraction can wear off. You need something that is much more valuable. And time itself may not be so kind, because beauty may fade, or rather it changes. And you assume new forms of beauty as children come and everything. There has to be something that is more valuable, more sensible. Ladies, you need to have something more than just the looks. Looks are okay, but let it be beauty with brains.
And I like it, Rundi, before you say anything. I remember I used to have a friend. You see, unfortunately, he didn't have a lighter skin. Our teacher used to call him blue black. And I know every time we used to have discussions, he would say, I'm not going to marry someone of my color. Otherwise, the children will be the darkest ever. So basically, he wanted to mix the two. His blackness is diluted by the lady so that something comes up. And I want to tell you, the guys here are saying they want intelligent women. Don't ask us whether we are intelligent. We know, being fools as we are, we would rather want someone who is intelligent to dilute, so that so by the end of the day, do you have that which we are asking for? We are only saying we need to see the product in that number 46, which called even number 1. Number 22. 46. As it disaster.
But Elder, this is my word to the girls out there. The intelligence that Pastor Mbiriri has been talking about is not just for the gentlemen. From what I have heard the guys saying, if you're not intelligent about looking for your partner for life, it is what. I don't know how else to put this. You need to be intelligent. If ever there was something that you needed to have a clear mind about, you needed to have intelligence about, is getting a guy whom you will spend your whole life with you. Otherwise, you end up and you never intended to get there. So if you're going to spend 2 hours looking for what color suits my skin for that weave that I want to do, how much is Brazilian? I think you need to be asking yourself, how much is it going to cost me to date this guy whom I don't know whose value system is? How much is it going to cost me or taint me if I date this guy who actually has nothing between his head? How much is it going to cost me? So to me, the intelligence, first and foremost, needs to be for your own self-survival. Otherwise, no, it is. Over to you, Elder.
And that's very clear. And remember, today we are talking of what eyes expect.
Yes.
And by the end of the day, we do not need to fight someone else's expectation. We only want to see whether it's palatable for us or it's not palatable for us. Mind you, life is not a game of debate to see who wins and or who does not win. Life is life, life is real. And when you are told that this is what is expected, you mustn't fight and gang up and believe you are going to get there. This is the reason why many marriages end in divorce. It is because people are not doing their due diligence. So what we need to do, ladies, if we are intelligent, is to see, can I take it or I mustn't take it? Mind you, the purpose of relationship is not going about teaching people manners. No. They are saying, as we are, you heard what Elder Mutema said. He said, I am expanding my territory, and you are a candidate. So therefore, you are not marrying me to change me, but you are helping me in the territory that I have built. Let me jump this one. Very soon we are coming to question time. Maybe let me ask a very simple question. Who should we ask? Elder Mutema. Elder Mutema.
Yes, Elder.
You see, there is this problem here. There is a question here about body odors. And I don't know what body odors are, but I believe they don't need to introduce themselves. I don't know what you guys think about body odors.
So yeah, allow me to just respond to that in a minute. So one of the things, thank you, Pastor Mbiriri, for highlighting beauty with brains. So one of the things that we also critically need, apart from the brains, apart from the beauty and our future value system, it is the issue of hygiene. You know, we honestly expect ladies just to value themselves, not character-wise, but even physically. You know, someone might have a good character. She's obedient. She's all that. She's obedient to the parents, but we also expect ladies to be hygiene. You know, let a lady be a lady who knows how to brush her teeth, a lady who knows how to take care of your armpits, a lady who knows when to bath, a lady who also baths. So the issue of hygiene, it's a very critical issue, especially to the intelligent ones. Thank you, Pastor, for highlighting about the brains. But it looks like most people who have the brains, they kind of lack the brain on the hygiene side. I don't know if it's inversely proportional, that those with high IQ, they have a low, I don't know if there's something like hygiene quotient, I don't know. But our ladies, they need to take care of it. This is the reason why many times it looks like, you know, when you're in high school, when you're in college, it looks like ladies from the upper side of town. I'm talking of back here in Africa, in Southern Africa, particularly in Zim. It looks like ladies from the other side of town across Samora here in Harare. It looks like they are the ones who get themselves the boyfriends, who get themselves married. And most of them, they don't have they're not that excelling academically here, but it's because they have this ladies kadat, you know, and kadat culture, it's mainly just taking care of themselves. Yet we have so many ladies who 15 points, 20 points, who have done academically, they've done academically well, but they can't just take care of themselves. One of my favorite writers, her name is Ellen White. She says, before a young lady is married, she needs to know how to take care of herself and how to take care of babies, of children. So we expect a young lady, before we even get married, before we even court, we expect ladies to understand principles of hygiene. I love that writer very much. In one of the books called Ministry of Healing, she writes a lot about hygiene here, and it is the right of every daughter of Eve. By that, I mean every female, it is her right to understand the principles of hygiene, because that will affect my children, despite how much money I'm going to have when we get married. I might give you all the money, but there are people right now who stay in flashy houses, we have flashy cars, but the kids are always in a mess. Why? Because the lady herself, she is not hygienic, and it affects the children. So we expect as men, that when I'm seeing you, despite the brains, okay, despite the character, we also expect ladies to be hygiene, to be smart. You know, I'm talking of our health. Ladies should take care of their health. You know, that includes physical fitness. You know, I in my neighborhood, each morning I always see ladies who are early morning. They are now trying to shed off weight. They're now, because most men now, I'm not justifying sin. Most men now have the so-called smell of small houses, not because they are demon possessed, but simply because most ladies in the houses, they're not hygienic. And most single ladies out there, they take advantage of that, and they're just, you know, they take care of themselves. So ladies should not wait until they get married to start that firefighting then. When they are still young ladies, we expect our young ladies to take care of themselves. Let them take care of their health. Let them take care of all the principles of health.
I hear you, Elder Munya. You see, unomboona vamwe vanopedza rukesheni rwese kumabhuku. Munhu ane dhasti kusvika kumabvi. Musikana mukuru. Handisi kuti kufamba kwakaipa. But what we are saying here is you should respect yourself. And I've noticed even when we go for camping, there are some ladies who come, they've got a piece of cloth. Before she sits on a chair, she dusts the chair. But kune vamwe vasikana vanongosvika kuti mavhiri mudenga. Matogara atonyura mumadhasti kuti unyatsoona kuti zviri kufamba sei. You see, this is exactly what we are saying. All we are saying is, as a lady, you need to be hygienic. As a lady, you need to be particular. As a lady, you need to, you see, you need to have mazino anochena. I know that there are so many men out there, but all I'm saying is, tirungotaura zvinodiwa nevarume vapedza kunhuhwa muromo kudaro kuti gezaiwo mazino. I want to thank God for this. A greater percentage of our ladies, they are good. A greater percentage of our ladies, vanozvichenesa. A smaller percentage isingazvichenese. Please take care of yourself. This is what is here. You need to be smart. You need to be well dressed. Everything else will be okay. I can see someone is his hand up. In 5 minutes time, we'll be getting into question time. So please bear with me for 5 minutes. Then in 5 minutes time, remain on there. In 5 minutes, we will be together. Before we get to question time, Uncle Irvine, what is respect? I heard you say boys expect respect. What do you mean by respect?
Well, you know, respect is, of course, I know someone, I was also going through the charts, and other young people were talking about, should it be demanded? Is it earned? They're asking a lot of questions about respect. Well, I just want to give a small vignette, and then I'll go into my one day I visited my aunt, my mother's sister. When I got to my mother's sister's place, that day they were having sadza. Sadza is our staple food here in Zimbabwe. It's starch that is made out of maize meal. And then they were having it with kapenta. So when I got there, I said, I don't like kapenta. I prefer chicken. So when I said I don't like kapenta, I prefer chicken, then you know what my guru said, my mother's sister, she says, you know what? You are not in your mother's house, as in my mother's house. You are in my house. And here we are serving kapenta today. I know you don't like it, you eat it. So I said, I know, but I don't feel like eating kapenta. So I didn't eat that day. And guess what was happening tomorrow morning? They were having sadza that remained the previous night and kapenta in the morning. And I figured, if I don't take this kapenta now, I might just die of hunger. My expectation is from my mother's house, but I'm no longer in my mother's house. I'm in my auntie's house. And when I'm in my auntie's house, I need to understand what are the expectations in my aunt's house. So this is basically what we are discussing today. You know, I know there are a lot of things that girls want and appreciate, but today we're talking about what guys expect and what guys really want. You do well to know what your aunt cooks and put yourself in the position of your aunt's children and enjoy the food that your aunt has prepared. This is basically what the guys are telling you today, to say, guys, if you are intelligent enough to understand what is being discussed here, you do well to take note of what the guys would really need. When we talk of respect, respect is basically rendering that which you should. Okay, yes, I think respect is generally rendering what is due to the person that you have espoused yourself to be. Can I also add on to the discussion today? I know we're almost coming to the close, maybe just a few minutes as we are coming to the end. Over and above the issues that we have spoken about, can I also throw in an element of a woman who is industrious? I think if there's any way to describe it better, is you find it in the book of Proverbs chapter 31, a woman who is well known for her industrious work. Of course, as the man, as the headship, I'll do the providing of everything that you need. But more so, I would need you to complement me by also becoming industrious. Let me say it in my local language, and then I'll try to expand. You know, there's nothing that is also as horribly disturbing as a woman who just wakes up to eat. You know, they say there are some women who eat 1 meal a day, because from the moment she wakes up until the time she sleeps, she's just eating. In as much as I am the provider, but I would also want to see that industrious aspect of yourself, to see what else you can do. You know, when we talk about a woman who is challenging, we're not saying challenge as in everything that we do, you are always bringing something against, but I will need someone who I can work together with, someone who can complement, someone who is industrious, someone who can also think outside the box. I mean, remove the entire box and come up with an idea. Not, wow, is this the woman that I married? I mean, because of the things that you can bring out. In other words, if you are industrious enough, you can also bring the best out of me because of the things that you do. If you read the book of Proverbs chapter 31, she's comparing this woman to be a ruby vis-a-vis being rubbish. No one would want to get rubbish, but you'd also want someone who would shine like a ruby. In as much as Elder Mutema was talking about issues to do with hygiene, remember, women were also given a sense of beauty. You know, beauty does not come with men; it comes with women. I would also want to see that. You know, there are some people who make clothes look good because of how they carry themselves, the deportment that we want from the women. So in as much as we bring all this, we would also want you to be industrious. Sometimes to bring the ideas that would change our family coming from you. And I'll say, hey, truly, I have seen someone who has, you know, when we were talking about Elder Machando, had brought the issue of an equal yoking. Sometimes you'd also want a woman who is at the same level in terms of industriousness of what we bring to the actual family and all these things that we come with, that will bring everything come together because of how you carry yourself and how you challenge me to bring the best out of myself.
Irvine, thank you very much, Uncle Irvine. Thank you very much, everyone else. Now, we come to the last segment of our discussion where we are going to be taking questions. And Kundai, you were the first to raise your hand. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Actually, I just wanted to harness the point I think that was said by Elder Mutema. And the point being, I think for a young lady, the issues is, while if you look at it, the aspect of being industrious, if you look at the aspects of hygiene, if you look at the aspect about investing in your intelligence, it's are issues that are centralized on time management. And more often than not, you come to realize that we don't spend time training the young lady in terms of time management. When you can manage your time, you live your life with a deliberate and a purposeful life. You are so deliberate about the things that you want to achieve. Even if when someone is going to be shopping, like someone, let's say a guy who's looking for a lady, it is more important for them to find you in your path. So I would love to believe that it's important for maybe for the church to actually help the young people to understand the aspect about time management. And when you manage your time, you actually now know the areas where you need to focus on, which probably be your weak areas. And you know the areas which are your areas of strength that may actually be the areas that can actually bring attraction from the other person who is probably of opposite sex. But we really need to encourage the aspects about time management. I heard Pastor Irvine talking about someone who eats the whole day. It's just an issue of failing to manage your time. So probably we need to invest more on, say, young people, young men, young lady, manage your time. Be purposeful and deliberate about the things that you seek to achieve in life. That was basically my comment.
Thank you very much. And whoever has a question, could you please raise your hand? Then we'll give you the opportunity. Maybe someone to take this one. Someone is asking here. The question is, okay, before I go, Mercy. Mercy, could you please? And please, there's a lot of people who would like to ask questions. Let us be short, let us be precise so that we get our answers and we move on. Let's go, Mercy. Can't hear you, Mercy. Okay, can we move on to Tanya? Mercy, if your thing gets sorted out, we'll give you opportunity. Tanya.
Oh, makadiniko.
Tiripo makatsimbao.
Andini ndonzi Pastor Mbira ndakanzi Tanya.
Come on, Pastor, how are you?
Really say. Right. Ndine two issues.
Yes, Pastor.
You know, the discussion, it's deep and very exciting. The other point, the other issue is kune vanhu kana vatorana mukati memuchato. Arisi dambudziko here ratiri kuisa vana mai pachikona. Why? Because pane zvinhu zvinosvikowanikwa munhu ari zvekunzi anoshanda kukebs, anoshanda kuitodanana, but hapano here zvimwe zvinhu zvinozobuda vanhu vatomumuchato zvakatomboitirwa courtship makore 3-4 vanhu vachedza onyasonzwisa kuti munhu wangu akamira pakati, zvakamira pakati, but also other issues dzakutoita challenge, respect and all that. How should we go around it? That's point number 1. Point number 2, inofunga kuti iko varume tiri vashoma, madzimai vakati wandei, ende mukada kuti mutarise vasikana vari kuda kuti vashaya kuroorwa vakawandisa pari zvino, vatokura vaibva, hapana chaunoshora kuenda kubasa kwake, but murume chaiye dhololo hapana. Saka handizvo here zvinozokonzera kuti iko kana azomuwana akutongoti iko love yangu iri strong ende ndichaenderera mberi ndichamuda kusvikira ashanduka, ozoona kutoti zvimwe zvinhu zvacho hazitoshandukike ende muchato wombva watoparara. Ende varume futi, chimwe chatiri kutsvaga mudzimai asingaratidze kuti atori desperate. Anonetsa kugara nemukadzi iye anoratidza kuti iko ari very desperate, yangu ukamuti iko jambira mumoto anojambira mumoto, ukati buruka mubhazi anoburuka, you know all that. Saka these two areas madi umbodziti tsenge zvishoma. Remember ndine vamwe wandiri kuningirika wandiri kuonawo nawo chirongwa, saka vakundinetsa, saka zvanzi bvunzai mimi tozonzwa kuti panonzi kudii. My time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And please do not go away. KTM, Sweet Chicks, and Tariro will give you the chance to kutaura. Regai timbo na zvekuita nei. Pastor Mbiriri, are you still there? I can't see Pastor Mbiriri here. I think his network is giving sugar. Munya, can you take one of the questions?
Yeah. I'll take one of the question, particularly the last one. The last one was on desperation. It's very true. Men, we do not expect ladies to be very desperate. It's a sign that we are now in this relationship because of desperation. So if there's something that really turns us off, if there is something that puts us off 100%, it is a sign of desperation. There are some ladies who, when you propose, before you even propose, you are still 5% on the proposal scale. The person has already said yes. And that seriously turns us off. And many times you then just agree to it because as a man you have already proposed. But there are some ladies, there is 0% resistance. A lady also needs to be a lady, needs not to play hard to get, but at least to show that she is not desperate. So it's very true what Pastor Mbiriri has said. There are a number of ladies who are very desperate. So my sisters, you might be desperate. That's okay, but please don't show us that you are desperate. You still need to maintain your dignity. You still need to maintain who you are. Be desperate deep inside, but outside, at least don't let us see that desperation. We expect 0% levels of desperation. So thank you so much, Pastor Mbiriri, for that. It's very true. There are ladies who are desperate, but as men, we don't expect to see. We are happy when a lady shows no sign of desperation.
And mind you also, men are looking for intelligent women. But normally when you are desperate, intelligence takes leave. You'll be using your feelings instead of your brains. And by the end of the day, some things that you do are things that nobody ever thought of. And I'm not like what he's saying. You are too desperate to the extent yekuti izvo ndozvo hapo. And mind you, most of the people vari kurara nemakomana, vazhinji vacho it's because of desperation. Ndikasarara naye anondiramba. So as soon as you get to be desperate, common sense takes leave. You need to enter into this thing with your common sense intact. And mind you, no matter how many you are, you should know one thing. You need to be selling scarce commodities. Rumbi?
So, Pastor Mbiriri, thank you for that question. You said there are some things that will appear in marriage that after dating for 2-3 years, you never discovered them. A number of things come to the fore, Pastor. The first one is, were you dating to really, truly get to know each other, or were you filling time so that you can be said to have dated for 2 years before you got married? Because I have noticed that our young girls normally do not ask the questions that need to be asked. If they start dating a guy and you say, okay, where does he come from? What does he do? You will find 3 months, 4 months can go by before any such questions are asked. Why is that? It's because girls don't want to ask the questions that should be asked because they think they'll put the guy under pressure. It also brings in another thing, that courtship or dating is not a one-man band. A little earlier on, the elder said due diligence. He made reference to due diligence. What is that? It means you're bringing in many people into your relationship so that they can tell you, they can give you feedback on the person you're with. And this is a small world, unfortunately. And you will find that there's inevitably somebody, an aunt, an uncle, a mom, somebody who knows this guy, who knows where they come from, who will tell you that, but this guy has got a child. This guy was married before, or this guy made a girl in Form 4 pregnant and the child died and stuff. And those are normally the things that will come out, even things that this guy is HIV positive. Those are things that will come out because you have not been intelligent about your dating, about your courtship with your men. If you are intelligent about it, you actually stay focused, you use your head, not your heart, and you make sure you take in the feedback that's coming from people around you. You are unlikely to get into marriage and then have surprises waiting for you. Over to you.
And the one thing chandakafarira ukaenda pashowground pane chimwe chimota chakafa panotengeserwa masweets unoziva kuti kana uchida kuenda kubhuruwayo, no matter how desperate you are, ukapinda muna ichocho unenge wangozviconvinsa kuti ndiri kuenda kubhuruwayo, but achiende kubhuruwayo chimota chiya ndechekutengesera maswiti. So this is what desperation does. Inotiita ti-excuse things that are not excusable, and tione things that are not there. Zvekuti even the guy we are dating ari kutoshamisika kana kuti muti ane musoro, nekuti anoziva, kwete kuti akaudzwa kunzi haana, anotoziva naye kuti haana. So by the end of the day, I'm telling you, it must never be marriage at all costs. You would rather be alone and be happy than inherit a problem. Because there are some people who are not going to bring peace into your life, but they will take the little peace that you had. So if you think marriage is going to solve all your problems, you are mistaken. It can cause more problems than what you had. Vitori nani kurarama uri wega nekanhamo pane kuzopiwa mazinhamo neimwe nhamo yaunenge wainherita. We need to do our due diligence. We need to know what we are dealing with, and we need to be focused on this thing. While Starilo is coming up, what did you want to say, Mr.
Yeah, I wanted to say, so it's an issue. It's the principle of desperation. So when I get you when you are desperate, I'm thinking when you get married, desperate, are you not going to cheat out of desperation? So how you get in, it's the principle that I have seen. But I got you through out of desperation. When things get bad there, when you are desperate, what are you going to do? What else are you going to do? So nothing should ever be done out of desperation.
Amen. Tariro, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Please, you can go ahead.
All right, thank you so much, Elder. Yeah, this has been such a fruitful discussion. So my question is basically that where do we draw the line or the distinction between, like, words of affirmation and respect? Because like Uncle Ivan did touch on respect and everything like that. So because you find that, some people, you enter into relationships with them and then you actually do appreciate them. You actually offer words of affirmation and everything. But then there is a thin line between words of affirmation and ego stroking and just basically validating someone who just has insecurities. So I feel that my question was not really addressed in the chat box when I wrote it. So I just decided to ask. So yeah, where do we draw the distinction between words of affirmation and just basic validating someone who has a low self-esteem and has insecurities? Thank you.
I like that one. Uncle Irvine, I like that one. Paita benzi, ruda kudzwa kunzi harisi kupenga, kuti rirambe rineni. You get the point, but richingopenga, indichitoziziva kuti riri kutoita sezvaro, riri kutozvipengera zvaro. Tinotamba sei nyaya yakadaro. Ende chirungu chataurwa nacho manyatsona kuti munhu akafunda, aritaura nomumwe munhu akafunda. Ego stroking, marinzwa izviro. Ari munhu arida kungoudza zviro.
Yeah, well, I think it's spot on. Unfortunately, I missed the question on the chat box, what she had asked prior. But from my understanding is she wants to separate the difference between ego stroking and validating. I mean, just it's a play of words from the way I'm understanding it. You had actually referred. Do you mind if you ask the question that you had put on the chat box? I was trying to check on it before you mentioned the issue of ego stroking, but maybe let me come to what I sort of understood from what you're saying. Sometimes you just need words to validate, as well as the same time to just stroke the ego so that the person might feel this is exactly who they are. Because remember, like I mentioned earlier on, that women are, for women, we expect the essence of beauty to be with them. For men, it is definitely the ego that is there. But at the same time, when you talk of ego, I'll give you an example, the totem pride. When you come to me, and because I'm a man, and I'm expecting you to say, when you bring the food to me, you kneel, and then you usher some words that will give me that would stroke my ego. From stroking that ego, The point is what exudes out of me when you have stroked that ego. You bring the best out of me because you have reached me at the point of my need. If you know that a man has ego and the ego has to be stroked, and when you stroke the ego, and then I'll definitely give you what you expect, then of course to me it makes sense because this is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I want. And when I want it, and when I reach the epitome of my desires, what I give to you in return becomes the best of myself. So what would you lose if you stroke my ego? And when you stroke my ego, I'm in that position to give you the best of myself. So it's actually to your benefit for you to then stroke that ego because that's what I want. That's what I need. That's what I'm expecting you to do. And when you do it, I tell you, what you get out of stroking that ego is something that you'd also appreciate because I'm doing it out of the expense and the best of who I am so that you also get the best of what you need and desire. So to me, it makes sense for you to stroke my ego so that I give you the very best. If I'll give you for an example, Dina uncle, I've got an uncle of mine. In lack of better words, in this era, so what we used to do when my uncle comes, when he used to visit us, he wanted us to affirm that he has money. And we'll dance around, we'll say, hey, well, we are. And once we do that, you know what he'll do? You'll get into his pocket. You'll give us the money. We'll go and enjoy the sweets because we stroke his ego to say he has money and he gives us what we want. So if that's what I'm understanding, when you stroke my ego, I give you the very best. And in fact, I do it out of the abundance of my happiness. So stroke my ego, dance for me, and you see what I'll do for you. Thank you, Melvin.
Okay, Pastor Uncle Irvine and Tariro, let me add this to what Uncle Irvine has said. In Shona, we say Zakambo kamwa ndo dzinofidwa kunzi dzisise. But ukapa mabhuru chikafu uchida kukama mukaka unoswera usina kudya. So by the end of the day, we are not saying you need to accommodate weakness. We are saying if the cow that you are feeding has no capacity to bring out milk, then do not feed it. And who makes that decision? It is you. But as long as you remain within those circles, you are forced to do things that are not going to give you dividends in return. So by the end of the day, this is what this guy is expecting. But you should also know that you are also investing in this relationship. If you think nothing is coming out, don't change that man. Pack your bags, count your losses, and go. Alvina, I hope, Tariro, we made sense. Well, it should be KTM first, sorry. It's KTM first.
Okay, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. I am not sure if somebody has already mentioned about the fact that as men would want women who are good in terms of cooking. Yeah. My question is actually, is it wrong to want somebody who actually knows nutritional value? Because most of the time that we're dating, we're meeting, and we go out, we get food that is already prepared. So I think that life you would want it transferred and transformed into a marriage. Because sorry to say that, but I think it's that lack in terms of knowing issues. Thank you.
Mrs. Machando, what do you think? You are a lady. What do you think in the issues the big? Because in the more as namatum.
So thank you, KTM. This is something that ideally our mothers should be teaching all their girls. Unfortunately, in the era in which we live, where a lot of households have maids, it's not every girl who's going to be able to cook. But cooking is something that can be learned at any point in time. I personally believe in knowing the nutritional value of what it is you are putting in your pots, what it is you're putting on your plates, and making sure that your husband does not get a stomach and that his health remains optimal. And oftentimes it might actually mean that you have to talk to your husband to make him understand what it is that is good for him. But for some who already know or who are prepared to be cooked for without questions, that's fine. But yes, you are correct. It is the girl's duty to know how to cook. But I should also flip this on its head, KTM, and say, we also live in a world where girls are also working the 8 to 5, and some of them are working 5 to 10 at night. So it is good for men to also be able to cook, because you find both of us are going out to look for the bacon now. So it's good for both parties to know how to cook and to know the nutritional value of the food that they're going to serve.
Thank you very much. Now, I'll take these three only since we are closing. Sweet Chicks.
Okay, good day. I hope you can hear me.
Yes,
Definitely.
we can.
Yes. No, I wanted to ask, I'm not sure, is it Ru or Rumbi who talked about men, boys actually. My name is Chido, sorry. Who talked about men or boys who go out with girls who are non-Adventists. I wanted to ask, what's wrong with the girls who are non-Adventists but they're Christians?
That's great. If people say it's non-Adventist, I think it's true. Okay, let me, Pastor Mbiriri, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Pastor
Right.
Mbiriri, did you hear that one? Did you hear that from Chido, or I can?
No, yeah. Yes, I heard that one loud and clear. Now the issue goes to value systems that people have. So we're not just talking about Adventists, whatever faith tradition one comes from. If you're a Catholic, if you're whatever, there's more to it than just the name. Apparently, many people don't realize until they are deep into a particular situation. So we're not saying there's anything bad with anybody who's of a different understanding with regards to their faith. But we are saying this faith is a toolkit that you have bought into. And you're on a long drive, you're on a long journey, you're crossing the Sahara. And this is the toolkit that you are bringing. Now imagine yourself on such a long drive and you have a toolkit that does not apply to the car or vehicle that you have. The spanners that you have don't work on the vehicle you have. When you have challenges there, you are going to be stranded. So many people, many young people only see themselves the way they are when they're at Chicken Inn, and they think that their life is going to end at Chicken Inn. You are going to go through different kind of situations and scenarios. And when those situations, those ups and downs in life come, you are going to reach into your toolbox. And then you're going to say, okay, this is the tool we need to undo this nut, this bolt. Now, if you have got maybe different tool sets and you cannot even agree on how you need to resolve a challenge, you start off with a problem and then you end up with a crisis. You end up with a crisis. So what happens is when there's a real problem, people go to their default setting. They're not going to continue being who they were at Chicken Inn. Like when coronavirus hits and no one knows what's the real remedy, people will go to Zumbani, which some people had never heard of until they're 23. Now they only begin. So you go back to what you know best. It's just like if you're in a jungle and then a lion just comes out of nowhere and is charging at you, you don't cry in English. You're going to cry in your mother tongue. You got your default setting. So this person is nice to you in this situation because they are sharing pizza and so on. But when your child gets sick, they're going to revert to what they know best. If what they believe is that my child will never go to the hospital, they will tell you and they will swear to you that you are not going to take that child to the hospital. And you believe that you need to pray for this child, we need to take them to the hospital. That's when you really begin to realize that, well, this is something else. So this belief system, it's not just a name. There is more to it. It has got values. It has got things that are so important for how you then run your lives. It's like the software, how you then run your lives. So we're not saying these guys are bad or whatever, but we're saying the toolkit they have may not apply on the engine that we have.
Thank you very much. Alvina?
Oh, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I wanted to take you back to what Stereo was asking concerning the ego stroking and the complimenting and whatnot. And I wanted to say that when we do date or in relationships, you get to know a person more intimately, and you get to know that everyone has got insecurities. And in as much as it is advisable and it is good that you help your partner through that and you help them to protect that. But at the same time, when you realize that someone is using you as an emotional crutch to be able to feed off of your compliments and your praises, that becomes narcissistic and it becomes toxic to you. And as Elder rightfully said, you need to get out of that. And the flip side is also correct to say that as women, sometimes you go into that relationship with emotional deficiencies and you expect this person to fill them out for you. So it's the same as when men require ego stroking and women require to create emotional crutches out of men. And therefore, as women, that's an area that would also have to work on, and vice versa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alvina. I can hear you've got a lot of common sense. Let's hope you are using that strong brain. Oscar?
Thank you. I wanted to comment on something that I've been seeing in the comments throughout the discussion. I've been noticing that the girls or the women who are in the comment section, they keep trying to question the facts that are being thrown here. So I wanted to mention that whether what is being said is fair or not, that is what is on the ground. And even though some of these things that we're discussing, good men are not going to do this, the majority of the people that are found in the world are not good men. So that is going to mean that what the women are supposed to do is to listen and have a general idea of what men in general expect from some of these things. And if they see that they cannot deal with some of the requests or the demands that may be put on them, then it is now up to them to choose their men correctly, or if they see that it's too much to bear anyway, to just stay out of relationships altogether. Starting to go into a war which is going to be saying this is not fair, this is not right, this is supposed to be like that, it is not going to help anyone. What our ladies have to know and understand is that you work with what is there and you have the power to choose whether what you are given, you want to take it or not. And if you don't want to take it, that is still okay. But it is foolishness for you to take what is on the ground and then you start complaining when you've made a conscious decision on yourself that I want to take this. So complaining about what is there is not going to help anyone. Make a conscious decision to choose your men properly, and if they're going to give you what you do not expect, then it is up to you to simply quit and go elsewhere, or to just leave the whole thing altogether rather than complaining that this is not fair or this is fair.
Thank you very much, Oscar. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We need intelligence here. The intelligence inokudza kuti izvo takakurira kuchitungwiza. Istiri makaranga pyuti nerurimi rwakanyatsobatikana. Takaziziva kuti vanatami vachanetseka nechirungu but anotora kusiku vanotaura chirungu. Saka kana uchinge wakazviona ndezvekuti izvo tama anotaura chirungu because baba vako vakanga vakachenjera. Vakanotora anotaura chirungu kuti zvimba zvabalance. So by the end of the day, what has to happen there kuti izvo, you need to walk with someone who is going to fill the gap. If the gap is not being filled, if someone is not coming to the party, if someone has nothing to offer, therefore you cannot go and pay the piper before the music is played. So the choice is all yours. Things have been put on the table. Questioning the fairness, like Oscar has said, or the unfairness of the issue is neither here nor there. Basically, what we need to do is to put our houses in order. Can we flow with the tide, or we put a stop to it? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say, always we have been beating about the bush. The truth was never said as it is. And the people want to pretend they don't know the truth when they know the truth. Whether we like it or we do not like it, whether we are for it or we are not for it, the truth will remain the truth and will walk on its own 2 feet. So by the end of the day, what we need to do is to make sure we are compatible with the truth and not the truth be compatible with us. We need to know people are going to exploit us. And after they have exploited us, they will say this is a used mine. But in real life, they are the people who have been extracting the gold out of that particular mine. So what we need to do is we need to keep value. We need to take care of self. We need to know our worthy, and we need to play the game correctly. I am telling you, if you decide to play the game of love, be a master of the game. Do not play halfway. Then you say people must sympathize with me. We want people to be Christians. This is not how it is going to
I know, but I don't listen here, bro. Sorry.
Thank you. Please wait. I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk. I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk. So please, let's maintain that. So basically, ladies, today we have been talking to ladies about what men want. We are going to be talking to men about other issues that pertain to ladies. So if you think men are not being fair, if you think men are not being honest, why are you not telling them on your platform? If you think this is not a good deal, why are you not telling them on your on their platform? I mean on their platform, sorry. So this is the reason why there are two platforms, whereby if we think men are not being reasonable, let's address it on our platform. And that platform is there. That platform is available. Let us go and sharpen our knives. Let us go and sharpen our spears, and we address. Basically, what we do on here, we do not represent people as though they are not there. We just tell you what the people have said, and we put it across. If you have something else that is of the other side, the opportunity is coming. You have your platform next week. Please come up, say what you want to say until you have the ball rolling. This brother of mine, we had something to say. May you make it short because we are going to be booted out very soon. I think he's no longer there. Otherwise, thank you very much. May the good Lord bless you. Shall we pray? Our Father, which art in heaven, we thank thee for this day. May your will be done and not our will. We hope we haven't said what we wanted to say, but we have both put reality on the table. So it is our wish and our prayer that we gather that which has been put on and we investigate for ourselves. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you very much.
I would want to urge you to join us same time next week in the afternoon. We have another program, and the topic is marriage is not a professional qualification. So let's meet next week for this program. This will be for the gents. So be excited. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May the good Lord bless you.